function, pumping and dumping, manipulate the market, flooded from the darknet, flooded from the deep web, keep it a secret. Every exchange got the nerdy brains trading on the frequent.
All right, after 1 billion years, we should be live. Yes, finally, everything works. No, we're supposed to, I know everyone in chat right now is like, you're supposed to be at 5:30, now you're at 6:35, what the hell? It was a DCG 201 stream without us being terribly fashionably late. It's just like the movie Hackers near the end where they're like, are we fashionably late? So there's all of that. But hi, welcome. Unlike the Apple stream, you can actually see and hear me, so yay. And hopefully we won't get DMC'd. So we're going to find that out in a bit because we're going to probably talk about that probably a bit in the beginning, maybe at the end if we last that long, but we'll see. But further introductions. Hi, I am Sidepocket. I am one of the 2 co-founders and currently remaining co-founder of DCG 201, formerly known as DEF CON 201 or DC 201. We are one of the many DEF CON groups that exist across the United States and around the world. And if you want to know more about us and our various shenanigans that we've been up to, and we've been more active lately, there's our social media link tree that we just posted in chat, which shows us we're literally on everything. We're on the failed bird site at DEF CON 201 NJ, but we are also interesting. But we are also there we go. But we are also on we're also on the hostsucks.social instance of Mastodon. We are on minds.com. We're on Instagram. We're on a ton of different things. We're on some new shit like co-host and stuff like that. So it's been pretty neat. And we're going to be getting on some more things soon. So stay tuned. We love juggling all this, you know. Our whole goal is to make sure that you have no excuse to not follow our crap. So that's our idea here. And if you want a more structured list of everything, well, we also have our Medium blog, which we also just posted in chat. And finally, even though I'm personally really bad at it, up until we have our in-person meetups where we're going to vote on our new internal chat system, we do have a public Discord, which I also just posted the invite for that. And everything is running so far so good. So thankfully the Agent Smith that runs Twitch hasn't gotten to us yet, but we'll see about that. If you're wondering why you can see and hear me, I guess I can fully disclose of where I am. I'm currently at the awesome hackerspace known as Hack Manhattan. Yes, as a New Jerseyite, I've infiltrated Manhattan, and I have social engineered them to somehow let me use this space for this bullshit live stream. So I want a big shout out to Hack Manhattan there. And in fact, I'm going to put this in. So here's another cool thing, by the way, about having a proper space. Is it .com?
.com, yeah.
Okay. So
I think we have a couple of the related ones as well.
yeah, we normally do too when everything works. Yeah. So don't mind if there's well, smoke's coming through. We all know to blame Canada, but if you just see weird shenanigans floating by me, although I don't think that might happen, but it's also a hackerspace, so you never know. For all of you guys remember, for the first 2 or so years, we actually met at a hackerspace in Hoboken, of all places, called Maker Bar. You know how crazy everything can get with a hackerspace. So just prompting that out there. So, since we are late in streaming and I'm trying to catch up here, what's the show about? Why am I live streaming? Why am I not at... Does anyone recognize this shirt? You see a little drunken disabled symbol here? Because everyone knows what polka dot is on the hat, but does anyone know this? So probably people are asking, whoop, almost took the keyboard with me. Why am I not at HushCon? Because yes, HushCon is currently going on right now. No, I cannot tell you where it is. If you are there or you know where it is, you'll probably see me hanging around there and haunting there tomorrow. I'll put it this way. So, like with DEF CON, the prices have been increasing every year. And I won't disclose the exact number, but I barely made it last year with the price alone. I checked the number this year, and I literally acted like Strong Bad from the Homestar Runner cartoons when they did the virus episode where he calls all the viruses on his machine, and to quote, "Oh geez, that is not a small number. That is a big number." I'll put it this way: if you doubled the price to it, you can attend Black Hat USA. So yeah, I don't even know what's written here. Everything is art. Everything is Paul. Oh, Ai Weiwei. I love him. Yeah, because the Hackman people are so awesome. They gave me poisoned tea, and like, because if I ran a hackerspace and I was like, here's a random mug on your live stream, I'll be great, and it'd just say like, I am an asshole while we're drinking it here. Although it does have a middle finger on it, so that's very in keeping to the New Jersey spirit. But yeah, that's why I'm not there and I'm doing this live stream. But if you know the area, you'll see me there. I'll also be at SummerCon next month, and then as soon as I hear back from a bunch of different things, this is probably the closest I'm ever going to actually attend DEF CON, so cross your fingers for that. But let's get on with the show here. So we have multiple live streams. Everyone probably remembers where we did Apple, and while the chat was awesome and covering the content was awesome, dealing with Apple was a giant clusterfuck. So yeah, there was that. So now we're on one of our more normal live streams, which is called Crypto Barons, where we look at cryptocurrency and blockchain technologies as technologies. So, you know, this show came about, real quick recap, because it's been a while since we've done any of these shows. It's been like a month or 3. You know, even before SBF and all of that, I knew about like the scene. I've always been very interested in the actual tech of blockchain as a novelty, as a tech thing. And it was really annoying, and a lot of other of my friends and colleagues felt this too, to try to look up cool tech about blockchain and just getting finance, just getting hype men talking about going to the moon and buying the dip and crap like that, and not getting any real information of how does this network works, how is this structured, do you have a white paper, can we do the math in the white paper, can I connect to the testnet, what encryption are you using, can we hack it, do you have a GitHub? And that's what we cover on this show, and I've been very proud of this show. I mean, proud of everything with DCG 201, but I am particularly proud of this show, that people like get it and respect us for that, and trudging on here. So last time we did this, we tried to stream at the Bitcoin Pizza Day at Pizza DAO. It was okay. The setup was weird. I hope we have a better setup next year, because I didn't know about the location and stuff, so that was hell. But this time, what we decided to do, we're going to have 2 themed shows this month. So this episode, we are going to celebrate Summer Game Fest, because, full disclosure, even though everyone knows me as like a weird computer hacker and lot guy, I'm at heart a gamer, like for real. I've been playing since, I'll put it this way, right? 2600, not the magazine, the Atari 2600 was going out the door. My age, NES was about a year or 2 in, took over the world. You had weird fringe things like the, well, fringe for the time, I think YouTube has kind of exposed all this, like the TurboGrafx 16 and things like that, or the 7800 if you were really bizarre. And then like a couple years later, the Sega Genesis came out, and that's the start of me for video games. Also, things like Doom was new, King's Quest, Age of Empires, World of Warcraft 1. So like that's where I come from. I will always be involved in gaming. In fact, gaming basically got me into game development, which improved and got me more interested into like more hacking stuff. And so we figure that since E3 is dead because the ESC are freaking idiots, it's Summer Game Fest. Thank you, Jeff Keighley, for your terrible presentation yesterday. Great games, terrible presentation. Took me back to like all the cringe from E3 in a non-nostalgic way. But in celebration for during the month of June, where all of the games start rattling off all their press releases, and we have digital directs and demos and memes and all of that, I wanted to highlight something that was shockingly not covered by Summer Game Fest, because they have so many different things. Microsoft's presentation, Digital Devolver, Tribeca Film Festival had one for games. But there's actually a major one that's going on in California right now that we're going to take a look at and use that as a jumping board for this topic. And that's the 3XP for 3 Expo, or the Web3 Gaming Expo. And it's an actual physical Expo, where they have all the different Web3 pay to earn blockchain based games. Not all of them are paying to earn. We're going to get into that. But they have them all there physically. They're right now doing a tournament, which we're going to tune into in a moment, for different games. They're showcasing them. People are doing new demos. It's like when you go to a PAX East or MagFest, but not to that magnitude, because this is the first of one of these, and for both in the field it's in and for an expo. And it seems to be honestly going really well. I've seen really good reception from it. I also want to quickly add again that we're currently streaming. Well, we got our YouTube back. Yay. You Apple. But we got it back. And Twitch we don't know, because Twitch hates everybody. So if Twitch cancels out, this is why people are getting this now. You need to spread your content out, okay? That's why we stream on multiple things. So if you do like what you see now or later on or whatever, while we live stream, you can do it without live streaming, but anytime, especially while we're live streaming, you can like, share, subscribe to us on all of our major streams, which is currently Twitch, YouTube, PeerTube, and Odyssey, as well as we're streaming directly to the Dead Bird site known as Twitch. As Twitter now, because, you know, the muskrat and all of that we keep making fun of. If you do follow us on Twitch, YouTube, and now Odyssey, we do get alerts for those. So when that happens, we like, oh, yeah, you got followed, and we cheer you on. It's pretty fun. When we do charities, which I hope to start doing again next month, there's even more of a process with that, but we'll get there when we get there. And also, if you have any questions, such as, you know, what is, I guess, where I am, which is Hack Manhattan, which is a pretty cool hackerspace in New York City, because all the New Jersey hackerspaces are near Trenton in a barn, and no one in New Jersey, including me, wants to go there. But you know, that, or what's this hat? What are we covering? You know, what happened to all my facial hair? Why did we stream late? Which is a combination of traffic and computer issues. Please say so in chat. Love engaging in chat. Otherwise, as I always say, if you're here to learn, then keep lurking and keep learning. So our agenda, and trust me, we're going to flip over and check this out, is we're going to start by covering like quickly what like video games in blockchain space is. It's going to be a really quick primer. We're going to briefly begin to watch the tournament live stream, which I'm actually wondering if because there's two going on. I don't know if one's ending, one's beginning, or there's only one left, but we're going to tune into that a little bit, watch it. Then we're going to kind of minimize that window. We're going to look at different games and such. I'm going to attempt to code some things in terms of blockchain gaming, which is going to be incredibly frustrating, like it is for every episode of one of these. And then finally, provided that nothing crashes with our crappy ass setup that I love, I might try to play a blockchain game or two. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. So let's go into the desktop view mode here. And of course, I forgot to turn the actual browser on. So, oh, wait a minute, I have the browser on. I just need to point it towards the actual thing. So now you know what the rest of the desktop, the fake desktop, looks like in the background. Here we go. Ta-da! And I realize I have to add a video later. So let me just double check here. Okay, everything's kosher. Awesome. So as you see here, that blog link that we posted, that's what the blog currently looks like. We've been, you know, it's just kind of a period where we weren't very active, and then all of a sudden we're active again. And if everything goes right, in about sometime next week, we should be announcing our new meetup details for this month and our new location, and I'm super excited for that. But again, we'll get there when we get there. So let's talk a bit about, if I can find the frickin' thing, about what is gaming involved in blockchain tech. This hilarious image from 101blockchains.com. So in short, there's a really terrible term that even a mostly pro-blockchain person to some degree I absolutely hate. It's called Web3. Which, if you want me to summarize kind of what Web3... First of all, nobody knows what Web3 is. It's a made-up term, whether it's people trying to use it for virtual reality stuff or blockchain stuff or policy stuff. Nobody knows what it is. You know, no one was calling Web 2 until the technologies involved were already hardened for 3 to 5 years. That's how this all happens. The same way how World War I was the Great War until World War II happened. That's how this goes. So until, which is a rant that I'll do on another day, the W3 consortium decides to put a bunch of new tech together, which it's already been updating a bunch of tech and policies behind the scenes, by the way. That's improved a ton of shit that I'm really mad it's gone under the radar, and we keep tweeting and blogging about and trying to highlight. But until they make a massive jump and start calling it Web3, nobody knows what it is. When most blockchain people refer to Web3, what they're talking about with their myopic view is it is normally it's basically the combination of most of them want a more decentralized internet, which, to be fair, a lot of different internet stuff, even outside of blockchain, is trying to do and moving into. And there's obvious advantages to that, just having a ton of options that are not directly connected all into the same Amazon Web Service. For example, imagine, if we didn't have the degree of decentralizations we already have with the internet in its limited form, and the dead bird site goes full dead bird, where would everyone move to that was similar? Well, because to some degree we have that sort of decentralization, we have these other platforms. Some of them are even open source, like Mastodon instances, and we also have the Blue Sky clone. And I'm not saying anything is like good or worse. What I am saying is that you have options, and I would say that a lot, provided it was implemented correctly, would want a more decentralized internet. But it's usually these people, when they talk about Web3 in terms of blockchain cryptocurrency, they want a form of decentralization, and in their brain, involving blockchain technology is the solution to making the whole thing work. Now, since I want to make this quick, I can elaborate later in the stream. I'm going to be extremely brutally honest here. My main problem with Web3, which is going to tie into the whole Web3 gaming, by the way, is that, let me just load this up real quick, is simply that what they kind of don't want to say, because it's a dirty word, is that they want to essentially tokenize the entire internet, which is a big, giant ass problem. Because, essentially, if you think everything's bad, hyper-capitalistic now imagine where truly every digital thing has an actual established value to it that can be bought and traded. The concept of that alone is even more dystopia than the giant smog storm that we had from Canada to the north portions of the United States. It's as dystopia as the Earn It Act. This is what gets us to the unfun version of Neuromancer. So that's kind of my problem there. And I will say that while a lot of people describe blockchain games as Web3 gaming, not all blockchain-based technology games are Web3 intrinsically. In fact, there's been some that have been vehemently not part of that whole word salad there. So I just want to kind of put that out there. But what essentially, so just want to do a crowbar difference. There's Web3, and then there's Web3 in gaming, which is that same sort of like decentralization in gaming, and there's blockchain gaming. And some of the through points of blockchain gaming and example types is, I would say there's mainly two types of games that are based on blockchain stuff. And also, one more term. This term pay to earn, complete goddamn scam. Pay to earn. So we already have the other phrase that all gamers hate, which is pay to win, where essentially you have a system that is so unfairly microtransactioned that there's nothing of skill in the game. If you are rich and you have enough money, you can essentially buy your way into a high skill ceiling. And that's no gamer, true gamer likes that. I will say there is a use case for it, particularly on the business end, because, for example, pay to win is really popular in places like China, not because of like underground corruption, dead serious. It's because when each region has different gaming backgrounds and society problems. And for a lot of Chinese people in China and a lot of people in other countries, they like playing games, but they only play games like once a week when they have time, because they're in between jobs and family stuff and flying around. And so like they're never, if they're playing, like if they love this popular like first person shooter game, they're never going to play enough to get good as the other players, and eventually it will stop being fun because they're just going to get wiped out every single time. So there is a kind of a value into being able to like pay your way to a certain point so you're not lagging behind, but that is such a specific example and such a small use case that it's not zero, but it's not even a non-factor. And what pay to win has turned into is what you're going to see with a lot of blockchain game is exploiting whales to essentially bleed people dry. Pay to earn is a very similar thing, where a common thing that you'll notice, and this is one type of blockchain game, is where they use the blockchain, especially for usage in NFT, where instead of the developer owning the assets directly, when they sell you an asset like a microtransaction, you technically, in their brain case, own that thing. So like when you earn or you buy that gun skin or that magic spell, you officially earn that and you can actually resell that. That's one concept. You can already start to see the nightmare flaws in this because, again, it's the whole Web3 concept of everything has value. There's also a huge legality thing because in many places, especially like the United States, one, NFTs do not have any intrinsic code to the thing you own, so it's just pointing to a URL that anyone can access. And because of that and other factors, there's a lot of arguments within legal stuff, particularly in the United States, of that it's kind of a scam basically, where you get sent an NFT of whatever and you own it. That's what it says, but when you actually go through the legality, you haven't gone through the copyright steps and stuff to trade actual ownership. So it's more of an IOU ownership than real legal ownership, which we could argue back and forth of like copyright is theft and stuff like that, which us being open source hackers, a lot of us would cheer for that, but you can kind of see of how like advertising one thing, doing something else. Another thing with these pay to earn is the ability that similar to a concept that we've covered many episodes of proof of stake, where your gameplay and you holding on to the assets that you earn essentially stakes into whatever you're earning from. So part of the other aspect of a lot of these pay to earn, which is also given at IRE, is that as you you earn a certain amount of tokens or NFTs that have value, and so you're earning value, hence the term pay to earn. We're going to get into when we cover shortly like Axie Infinity and some other things of how this goes completely out of control, particularly with unfettered capitalism. But just want to give that background. There's other cool things, like we're going to look at a game in a bit where, for example, the blockchain manages all the usernames, and you can't resell your username, but that's how they verify it. And while there's other methods that you could use to verify stuff, sure, that's a use case for it. It's working. No one's really getting harmed with this. There's things like that. This is still very much in its infancy, and that's why it's kind of impressive, as we see here. And I'm going to get to turn off the dark mode. Yay. Because I only really use it because I don't know why Medium does not have a built-in dark mode. Like, we really need to, like, if there's any reason or group that we need to, like, legit cyber harass for, it's the cyber harass developers and companies to make dark modes for everything. Someone who has sensitive eyes, the hacker glasses, yeah, that's a whole thing. But what's recently happened, as I said, started yesterday, continuing on today, it's going to be wrapping up in about next hour or two, is the 3XP or Web3 Gaming Expo by, what is their name? My brain just died. By, I just had their page up here. Did I copy it over? Hold on. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, wow, I actually did not. Let's fix that problem. Let's open a new tab. And then we're going to watch a bit of the tournament stream, because I'm going to detail a bit what the event is. Oh, come on. Really? Okay, we're going to do this the old-fashioned way. There we go. Now we're at the proper page. Here we go. Yay. Do some zoomies. Oh, wait. Hold on. This is not... God damn it. Hang on. Why are they like this? Why did they do this? Why did they set this up this way? Oh, Lord, these people. So we're actually on the eSport partner page early. You'll notice a certain logo that we've been bitching about on DCG 201 social media. So that's kind of funny. Well, we could talk about that a bit at the end. I'm just trying to find their freaking website here. Why did I do Why? Oh, here we go. Ta-da! That's why a cool tip, anytime you're doing anything about especially hacker things, always loop back to your first thing that you tried to look at because you think you may have not seen it, but it was actually there the entire time. So yeah, the 3XP Expo is run by the Game 7 group, which is a DAO that essentially is a big promoter of Web3 stuff to the point of like almost like they've been honestly doing some good things, and so far there's been no like noted scams yet by them. They seem to be right now a legitimate organization by all intents and terms. But similar to how much, you know, you've seen us advertise Crypto Mondays, we will always criticize Crypto Mondays for their stupid chant. It's the same thing here where they're essentially so enthusiastic about it. It's like the Bustacati back in the day, or like what was it, the Legion of Doom, where they were so gung ho about the hacking thing that they basically became a hacker cult. They kind of like are so big on Web3 stuff and legitimately building it, but they're so into it that they kind of come off as a little cultish, which is kind of creepy. But no harm so far that we know of yet. But that's them, and they set up this expo at the Pasadena Convention Center in California. If I get rich next year and they do this next year, I'd love to physically come there and live stream there while it's happening and interview people and talk about it. But it's a real venue. They're sponsored by a ton of things. They're one of the big sponsors is the Brave browser, which we've covered in a previous episode, as well as some of the more positive things that they've been doing recently. Because you know we've covered their screw ups in the past, but I would say the main ones, besides the obvious, is Polygon Labs is into this. Avalanche are kind of the two big coding groups, blockchain coding groups that are butting heads here. Immutable is promoting the Sequence, which is a whole platform that we're going to talk about. We have some more gaming stuff like HyperX, the HerDAO. Many different games here they've been covering. Some of them we might get to later, like Eve.io, which is a huge popular like kind of Quake 3 arena type first person shooter that's been like one of the few decent blockchain games that have come out here that's been consistently good and popular without any major screw ups. There's the ever controversial Dead Drop from Doctor Disrespect, which we might look into a moment. Boneless, which is an interesting like survival horror game. Spider Tanks, Shrapnel, some announced games that got announced there, like Lazy Soccer, Toland Worlds. They're all there. They also have a big esports stage, and currently on that stage is Team Liquid members from Team Liquid, Xboard, Nouns Esport, Cloud9, and the notoriously freaking awful FaZe Clan. Which, if you've been following our social media, we know what we've been saying about them. So if we want to talk about that more near the end of the stream, we totally can. They have a ton of partners here, and yeah, this has been going on, and we'll look at their social media later on. But it's been pretty neat. Another cool thing, real quick, I want to point out that's been going on is hosted by Dora Hacks and the HerDAO, which is a blockchain organization that really pushes like not just blockchain, but like general like coding and STEM stuff for women. Again, one of the few good things going on in their sister group, Women Hack. They actually are doing a hackathon there that will continue to go on because they're like a block away from the venue center past the initial expo. So while the expo's only been 2 days, the next 4 days they're going to be doing this hackathon where they're particularly going to be pushing for women and minorities to building cool game stuff using real actual coding shit and blockchain check, and you can win money and funding and all sorts of things. So just wanted to highlight that. But a big thing that's been going on is the tournament stuff. So I figured that both to give a little break to ourselves and to kind of see what it's a bit like there. Let's go in and let's check on what their live stream's been doing. So let's get this going here. Oh, wrong thing. Hang on. We've been using OBS for over 2 years now and still haven't gotten the hang of it. To be fair, I also know a lot of people who have been using like Metasploit all their lives and they're still finding out new things of what to do with it. Here we go. So we're going to wait for this to load because right now they've been on Twitch live stream tournament. So either we're going to catch the end of the Dead Drop, which is the big new first-person shooter from Dr. Disrespect, who famously got banned on Twitch for both public and non-public reasons, and he went off and teamed up with the 12 a.m. Gaming team, and they've made this, which is another buzzword, not just in crypto games, but in gaming in general, that people are getting tired of, and Bungie's going to popularize with their really dumb marathon reboot, in my opinion, which is vertical extraction shooter. We're going to actually watch a bit of a video on that later, but as of right now, we're going to try to get this live stream. So we're going to catch the end of that, or which they're going to end the entire thing with, is they're going to be they're going to end with EVIO online. So this should be really snazzy. It's just going to take a bit to load because, you know, this is not as fast as YouTube. Make it full screen. Yeah, what's really weird, and this is before all the controversy, by the way, is that like they have a Twitch channel, but there's nothing on there right now. I guess afterwards, all that, like, they're probably going to record some, like, a ton of pre-recorded stuff in, like, the mirrors of these lives. Okay, so it's going to be EVIO. So unfortunately, we missed the dead drop stuff, that's why I was late on. If we started at the right time, this would be the time where we'd be watching that. But, you know, we can end it with EVIO, especially because I don't know if I can properly run it in this browser on the stream. So we'll take a peek at this. Come on. Let's see. Is there anything we could do with the resolution to speed this up? Let's scale the resolution down a bit, see if that improves anything. Okay, it's definitely improving it. Let's keep scaling this down until we hit the sweet spot. Alright, let's go to the beginning of potato mode. Alright, I think it's mostly working now. Still tinker with it. I'm going to put the headphones on and let's take a listen. And so you'll get to see, like, the type of gameplay that we might be able to be playing later on in a bit. So let's spend like a good 10 plus minutes on this.
If they can stick together and get that first pick, they're going to be in a lot better position. It looks like it's moving a lot closer. Again, looks like we're 4-3 in favor of Zeno and Ben. So they have definitely turned on the switch. They are not messing around. They're you know, we're at the 5 minutes back on the timer.
I can't wait to properly play this because I actually have not properly played this yet, and
I think they got maybe a little
it's
too
like so obviously like a weird fusion of, like, you can see the same tactics as, like, I grew up with OG Quake, but I particularly remember Quake 3 Arena and Unreal Tournament 2003 and 2004, and like you can see how this was so inspired by this, especially from like Quake Live, which was John Carmack being crazy as he is, and him and his team figuring out how to run the Quake 3 engine, which I believe is id Tech 3, in browser seamlessly. It's been impressive. So.
Lex and Big Boy trying to bring things back with a 1-point lead.
So like, unlike a lot of first-person shooters, and I used to play Call of Duty, stuff like that online, minor tournament scenes and stuff. I can follow this a lot more because this is more of like what my childhood was like. I was totally that kid that had a good gaming PC for like the late 90s, early 2000s, and also had a Dreamcast, and both of them had Quake 3 Arena on my Dreamcast. I had the Dreamcast keyboard and the Dreamcast mouse and the broadband modem, and I vividly remember rounding corners, shotgunning people in the face to the point where everyone in the IRC chat, which shows you how old this is on Quake IRC, would just be bitching all the time, thinking that I'm hacking the servers when I'm just playing a good game. Like, I wasn't doing anything with the servers or the code. So I can follow this a bit more.
We're honestly taking 2 parts of the map and doing like a pincer movement, but now it's looking like they're trying to play more conservative. Looks like they're trying to take advantage of Sniper, and he can't get away, So Looks like Lex before pulling through a little bit more.
I also very much like the graphical style of this game. It's very like, it's like Tron, but with textures. I can see this and instantly go, oh, that's EVIO, because that you're gonna notice later when we'll cover other blockchain games that like asset reuse and chasing like dumb gaming trends is gonna be a thing, and you definitely see that graphically where a lot of these games, both in gameplay type and in art style, will really start to blend together even more so than it does in AAA games. So that's something kind of fascinating, that EVIO still has a very unique art style that you can identify it with.
And I think that's going to make the difference. They were having a hard time. They got a couple early kills.
Wish we could get the dead drop stuff. We might be able to rewind it a bit, a little bit later, and check that out.
Holding down, using till weapons. See, they were waiting for each other. Lex is like, big boy.
Because I'm going to stream until probably like, originally I was stream at 8, but it's probably going to be like 8:30 at this point.
They're making space because again, the time to kill is so
be
quick. If you're half health,
beefy,
they both jump on you. Doesn't matter.
Brief,
so it looks like
fast-paced episode.
Now they're coming back at him. He's trying to find
watch this round and then go on to the next topic.
I think he got revolver killed right as he passed through the portal.
That's pretty nuts. I mean, it's still a close game, Spike.
Oh my freaking god, he won the portal and he
flew and there's the shots coming in on Lex. Can he clean up the kill? And he is going to be able to clean it up. Can he get the second? Unable to do so. 18-16 now.
Like unlike a lot of other crypto games, especially ones that we're going to look at, like this looks legitimately fun.
But I think things are going to pick up quite a bit.
You can tell the devs put like a lot of work to it, and I will talk about why a lot of these crypto games in general have not gotten off the ground, because that's a whole thing that I feel like no one's talking about, and relates to a lot of other different tech fields that have a similar struggle.
First one, we can afford to make some risky moves, and they pulled it off.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm impressed though, because I think they've done a great job in game number 2, really responding and making it close. But yeah, it is getting away from them. Another kill coming in, and he gets the second as well.
Oh wow!
They get a 5-point advantage.
I didn't even know you could throw that.
And this one is losing and dwindling away from them.
Yeah, it looks like they're very confident. With 1 minute clock and a 5-minute difference, I don't think Xeno and Analog are going to come together. But
that is absolutely insane. Lex is complete madman. He's putting more shots down. He's
oh
not
man,
he's
actually doing like
again,
the
but not able to
whole
make it through.
Nope. Let's see if they
jump
gap, but I
zoom snipers that used to do.
I think they're going to be a little too late for them to kind of pull this around.
Well, you couldn't zoom in Quick Free Arena. You could in Unreal Tournament, so yeah.
35 seconds left. They have escaped. After a very lackluster start for Lex's side, they've escaped and done quite well in the end game. And with 26 seconds left, surely this is business as usual. And that's going to put them on match point.
Yep. And again, the movement of these high-level players is literally insane. You saw them move from one portal to the next using impulse. Like, that's something that takes hundreds of hours of practice. And they're able to do that together with also communication. So it's very cool to see.
Also, I've been watching this live stream since yesterday, and I will give props to the 3XP people that they have some really good commentators on this who are like taking this very seriously and being really professional. So shout outs to the commentators and announcers on this tournament game. We're going to see the beginning of a new round, and then we're going to go into some of the other topics
I think it's going to be a
we
3-0
have
sweep.
this episode.
I think the first game, they were trying to find themselves. Second game, they looked a lot better, but the true prowess and ability of Lex to just come out, shotgun it up, and make it happen. I don't see them losing this. I think they're going to be able to take the quick 3-0, but a very valiant effort, in game number 2. So I think it made it much better for the viewer and much better for us casting it.
I'm very impressed by Analog, though. Again, he is not a professional player. He is with the team. And a lot of these guys, they've played with each other, not just against each other in tournaments. They've played together, so they have that team synergy. So I'm quite curious to see if we might see the gap close.
Yes, I'm pretty sure they play with each other. Wink, wink.
So maybe we'll get to, a best of 5.
I mean, they're learning very quickly if you think about the big gap in game 1 compared to game 2. So as we jump directly
really
in game
professional
number 3,
stream. Like you can tell this is both like money and skill in not just this game, but also like the actual live stream. I'm very impressed. As someone who watches a lot of these type of tournaments, that watches like Call of Duty tournaments, the CS:GO, CS2 if it ever gets its ass off the ground, Halo, Valorant, all of those. This is really impressive.
It looks like they're wanting to control the power weapons again. Maybe that's making the difference for them. They've been doing a good job of rotating and making sure they don't have a chance to pick off.
He's looking like John Wick out here with that.
Looking like John Wick out here. Oh, lag.
Pistol.
I don't know why we're getting lag now. Stream's still good.
With it. 5-1 now, making a 6-1 advantage. And they're coming out and said, hey, we heard you on the caster's desk. We heard you talking trash. We're going to come out here and just close it down easy style.
Yeah, again, this game is so quick. It just comes down to making one wrong movement for them to close the gap, get that first kill, get the second kill. Again, you're seeing Lex and Big Boy actually play together. The first time around, they were kind of splitting up and kind of working off calls. But it looks like they found out working together is definitely what's going to make the difference this time around.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the score line, 7-1, and we're not even a full minute and a half in. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for them to make this comeback. Last game, they got started off really early, and they're just being hunted down and make it 9-1 now. An actual advantage that's going to be almost tough. Big Boy is looking quite tanky out there, almost impossible to kill. And him and Lex moving around the map with a level of cohesion that we did not see in either of the first 2 games. But 9-1 scoreline advantage. They've spotted it again. Here comes the hunting. Make it 10, and we're going to see if they can make it 11. Make it 11-2 now on the scoreline, Spike. What the heck is going on?
I don't know. I'm quite curious, though, if they mix the teams up, what the turnout might be. Again, I think Lex and Big Boy probably had the most synergy. You know, they definitely competed in some of the tournaments I've hosted. So again, it's a wild game out here. These players are very competent with their craft, you know, move around. It's so insane how they're able to utilize, you know, the sprint, the shift, the phase jump, and the impulse grenades. But yeah, they're working together like no work. See, they can just pull them off one by one. It's going to be easy white work. So again, it's looking disenchanting right now of them kind of working together.
It looks so effortless watching them play the game. They are hunting together. They are hitting their shots, and they are trading. And that's what's most important in a 2v2. Can you trade those kills out? But not just trading. They're cleaning up absolutely everything and leaving no space for any mistakes. And in a game where we've seen so much technical aspect and the small things that it takes, like the phasing and the jumping and the portaling, you got to be able to hit your shots, and they're just not doing it right now. Make that 15, about to be 16-2 now. An absolute advantage. Oh my God, make it 17. A beautiful sniper shot coming in.
Yeah, momentum is so very important in this game. Again, like, if the opponents...
Lex is an absolute madman. He is a madman. I don't know what else to say right now, but that was absurd.
Yeah, again, being able to control the portals and the power weapons and knowing all the spawns, that's what's going to lead this kill streak going on. And it looks like they're just playing Gawker now, using the sword now. They're trying to demoralize them. The mind games is strong here.
And now he's chasing him with the sword. He's playing keep away, and there he is. He becomes Chop Suey.
Oh my goodness.
This is just insane.
The level of BM is strong here today in the esports arena.
He's hitting shots that I didn't even think were possible in this game. I don't know what sensitivity they're playing on, but it's absolutely insane. And this guy's running around like Mulan with the samurai sword. I don't think he gives a damn at this point.
Yeah, Lex is literally breaking everyone like a bad habit today, and it's not fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain they heard us chatting. They heard us talking about how close game 2 was. They were like, no, we're just going to put it away. And we're going to do it in style along the way. 23-5 now with 2 minutes left. But, I mean, they're on pace to drop 30-something kills, make that 24. And absolutely no slowing down. They are hunting every inch of square footage on this map. 25-5. Such an advantage that makes it almost impossible to come back from.
Looks like they're still picking up some kills, though. They're going to follow through the rest of the round. Very admirable to see them still work together. You know, regardless of the point lead, you know you're going to play at the highest level.
You can see the Tron influence right there when it went to third person in the camera.
You mean business, you want to show
Also, if there's
cool,
like little
cool
bits of
clips
slowdown and stuff, I'm kind of doing some stuff behind the scenes to set up for what we're going to be covering in like 2 to 3 minutes from now.
The ability to stay consistent map after map and get better. The amount of, I would say, pure adjustments that we've seen made from game 2 to game 3, and out making this the largest advantage that we've seen on the day. And the sniper's coming out, and he's going to be absolutely destroyed. Make that 29. Oh my goodness. Make it 29. Can he get the 30? Can he get the 30 bomb? He's get blown up along the way.
Yeah, it looked like a sneaky mind there. They were trying to transition the portal, but they guess they're playing a little more careless because they're just going for kills now. It's not a matter of, you know, working together. It's a matter of maybe Lex and Big Boy are trying to see who can get the most kills right now.
Are they still even chasing kills? I don't even think they've gone for the last kill yet. It almost seems like they're trolling it. Oh my gosh, make it 30. They are just jumping around the map, and at this point, it is business as usual for these guys, and this is why they are the best in the world. But it was entertaining to watch, Spike. I mean, seeing these players moving and navigating around the map like this is nothing I could have ever expected.
What I'm most impressed by is these players are usually playing online, and to see them here at LAN competing at the highest level, it goes to show that this literally is like the back of their hand. They're very familiar with the map, the movement, and even if they're playing on a different monitor, keyboard, and mouse, they're still able to pull together. HyperX does make really good equipment. So, yeah, this tournament has definitely been very exciting to see. Again, we saw the highest level of play here in EVO. Lots of hype and action.
This gameplay here is so fast, it's super making me nervous. In a good way.
Very intense. Back-to-back tournament.
And with 3 seconds left, everything is all but over. And there we have it. Final score 35-11. Lex's team gonna take the series 3 games to nothing. We're gonna say thank you and shoot it back over to Rex. This is awesome, Spike.
Yep, catch you for the rest one. See you at 3XP.
Thank you, Bryce and Spike. What a match. Eevee.io, thank you so much for putting this on. Congrats to the winners. Congrats to all the winners over the past 2 days at this 3XP event.
I think we're actually done with the stream, so this is perfect timing.
We killed a crocodile. We
With the giant,
dropped
creepy,
into a
brave
vertical
line face in
extraction.
the background.
We played some cards that were wild. There was some cards
Whether
in
the
sky.
stream ends
There
in a
was
couple of
lot
minutes
stuff.
or if
There's a
we're
lot of
ready
stuff
in 2
happening in
minutes,
Web3, and it's all happening
we'll,
at 3XP event. It
we'll
has been
continue
an
on because we have some
absolute
interesting stuff to
pleasure.
cover, including some
I am
code.
your host, Rex. All of this was made possible by our wonderful sponsors. We have the first one, HyperX. All the peripherals that you see here. One of the things that they want me to say is you should check out their Cloud 3 headset. The other wonderful sponsor was Brave. They have a great Web3 browser. You've heard all about it before, but I wanted to give one last Brave hero of Web3 to close out the show, and this Brave hero is me, Rex. It was really brave of me to be out
corny.
here, leaving my wife at home with 2 small children, 2 and 4,
You're a bad
not getting any
father.
sleep, poop in the bath. I got lots of texts about that. And just to be up on stage here to show off my
All right,
head
this
and-
is
and my
some
strong
Summer
jawline.
Game Fest
To
Jeff
you
Keighley
folks at
cringe right
home,
here. I'm like
very brave. Thank you,
morbidly
Stash. I am a
enjoying
sexy
this.
beast. Very brave of me. A hero of Web3 is what everyone in this audience is saying right now. 3XP, thank you so much. For
Or
having
more
me
like
up on
this
stage.
guy
Thank
is
you
a
for everything. If
frickin'
you're
chud.
still here, there's an expo, there are speakers, there's still a free play area with dozens of games. Thanks to everyone who's been here. Thanks to everyone who's
Yeah, I think we're done with the
watching.
match.
This is
If they
Rex.
have it
It's been real.
recorded, which they should, we could actually could actually rewind it and see some of the earlier tournament stuff from today.
Whoa, this looks right.
Probably the best chance he's got is trying to move that Shiva Ignite back into the danger zone and do anything he can to stay on that healing cell. So it's very possible.
Yeah, as you can see, and also I applaud that on their stream they actually had a good mix of games. So it wasn't just all like boring, like just like we're just trading NFTs. Like they had strategy games, they had card games, they had survivors, they had shooters, action combat games. It was like a great mix of stuff, which you're seeing kind of the highlights here.
Look, Allie's really holding her own, evening this playing field as much as she can.
She's got a chance and shooting.
She does have a chance to shoot a
So you can really see, because we tried to do a gaming focus one last year, which I'll describe that in a bit when the stream ends. And it's just amazing to see both good and bad. And there's a lot more good, to be honest, of like how much has changed just within a year alone.
Be able to redeem himself, and with 8 kills, Carol seems like he's on that, and another person getting picked off with an epic snipe.
I'm not playing a game right now, I'm just setting this up.
I mean, it looks like they are truly just
Thank
having
you
a
for
lot of fun
noticing.
now. Another 2 kills gonna come in.
Like Lex, Bitcoin holding it together. 2-kill lead.
Oh, and he even gets the knife.
Oh, the BM is strong.
Yeah, streams definitely is gonna end. Ta-da! With like some generic hip hop beats. So yeah, that was it's actually perfect timing because this is the exact amount I was gonna spend on like the live stream, but I was like gonna like be like, oh, this is boring, and kind of go away and then come back. So this is actually perfect timing that this is all going down. I just want to grab one more thing here. Just trying to get all my baskets lined up here. Here we are. Ta-da! All right, so let me just look here. Last remaining showcase. So yeah, when we revisit this, we're gonna see if we can rewind a quick short video segment at the end. But let's go back into, you can see it briefly what I've been doing here. Let's go back to all the other stuff going on. So I just want to quickly update this. It's because I thought I added everything that I wanted to add on our GitHub, and we didn't. But near the end, so in about like 20 minutes from now or so, we're going to where's the I have to refresh. I'm stupid. But we are actually going to try to do a coding example. That's probably not going to work because the demo gods extra hate everyone at DCT 201, so nothing like truly ever works. But we're going to try. I thought this forked correctly. Here it is. Because they add stupid dashes in it. There we go. So what's happening is that if you are on our Twitch, I mean, if you go to our GitHub, and I'll post the link into it in the chat right now. If you go to our GitHub, you know, you can just see all these cool links. But if you are on our Twitch, we have a bunch of widgets, and one of the widgets that we have is we have a link to our GitHub. So every time we do code, we always turn on our GitHub widget, and that way we have pinned almost all the stuff that we'll be looking at code-wise. So you can open that repo in the same tab or a separate tab and follow along without having to move away from the stream itself. So that's always pretty neat to use. So that's why I was just updating in the background. So let's take a look at the wide world of all these crypto games. So like I said, so much has changed since we originally tried to do this stream last year. And what we tried to do last year was, it was a similar thing, except there wasn't this amazing expo going on in California. We teamed up with this really nice and awesome Brooklyn location that's dedicated to live streaming. We got to use their monster rig, and our whole thing was we were going to actually run their games on their monster rig. And here was the thing that we didn't factor in. We didn't factor in that they are running a VM, and that's how they do their multi-computer setup, so nothing's running native hardware, which is good because that also, like, using the hypervisor secures whatever native operating system they have on there. It's probably Windows or like NixOS or something. And I didn't realize that with some of these games, especially since some of them were Android games, that I had to run in an Android emulator, which means I was running a VM in a VM. And we managed, just by running a game, just running an emulated game, it's perfectly legal, that's how you're supposed to run it, blue screen to death their entire system. So that's how we tried it twice. It didn't work, and we gave up. I was like, I'll do this again next year. So here we are next year doing it, and it was cool that we had sort of a type of a expo thing in order to bounce off on. So what I mean by that is that in between the time, because literally besides, I'm trying to remember, I think we had Spider Tanks on there. We definitely had EV.io. We also have another thing that I'll load up later just because it's graphic intensive, which is sort of like this, it's a game, but it's also like, it's like its own like media empire. It's like, you know how like when you look at like Marvel and there's the movies and the comics and the TV shows and they're all interconnected, or like Star Wars. That's what this thing is. So there's like a active web comic, there's an NFT store, there's a game, and all of that feeds into this crazy cyberpunk world that they made. It's actually pretty nifty. So I'll shout them out later. We'll look at that. So much has changed that we played a big one, which we won't look into, but I can sum it up, was we were also going to actually play Axie Infinity back when people liked the game and it was actively played, but more important too, before basically it's still up to debate, because to be honest, essentially a bunch of gamers and hackers exploited the economy of that system, but it was like kind of designed to be exploited. So it's not just malicious hackers. The devs also had a huge amount to blame, especially with how they handled the situation, which caused the game and most of its games to basically tank. And that's why now Axie Infinity is looked at dirty, like the way when you say Anthem from BioWare, people look at dirty, or to some degree Cyberpunk 2077, people are like, ugh. Like before they were all hyped, and now they're like, ugh, because they did all that bullshit. Similar kind of feelings there. Let me actually take the headphones off, because that will help my ears. There we go. And plus, I'm probably like screaming and not even realizing it. So unfortunately, I can't really use the list of games that we use because a lot of them have fallen out of favor. A lot of them aren't around anymore. But because this field is so fast, because partly because of all the snake oil salesmen, but also because it's a really young field that's growing, there's been so many new games and like weird progress. And oh, I just remembered a new one that I should bring up. But one of those weird progresses is this is probably the most like official of the all. There's a game that's called Nino no Kune Cross Worlds. Now, Nino no Kune is a game that you can get it, I believe, on PC now. There's 1 and 2, and there's a rumored third one being in the works. They're made by a legit Japanese video game company called Level 5, and you can get it on Nintendo Switch, you can get it on PlayStation consoles and stuff. However, because Nino Kuni is so popular, especially for level 5 standards, they've started to make spin-offs, and this was one of their first spin-offs. And it's an actual, we're not going to play it, unfortunately. I could try to play it, but I don't think we're going to play it today. But basically, it is an actual game. This is a real game. You can play on mobile and PC. Has intrinsic RPG systems and stuff. You honestly wouldn't even know there was any crypto involvement until you get to a certain thing in which they teamed up with GuildFi. We're essentially using the Clayton blockchain, which is over here, which is this weird. But this is what, by the way, the background, I guess they tried to go for Mars, but this is literally what Earth looked like 2 days ago, or at least it looked like in New York and New Jersey. But yeah, this is the type of blockchain they use with their, once again, over-dramatic website. They have various development tools and resources. BFT place, what the? We're gonna have to look into this shit later. But that's the type of chain they're using, and so using that chain, you can link your GuildFi account. And what GuildFi is, they have their own crypto games, but they also have a whole system in order to link up with other games. So in this instance, you know, if you don't have the GuildFi thing, you can just play it as a normal game, earn the in-game currency. It's not crypto related, all of that. But if you link your GuildFi, essentially there are missions and like Xbox type achievements or PlayStation type trophies that when you do this stuff, you earn coin, you earn NFTs. And it's very interesting because, again, 90% of this game is super traditional game, and you can play it without any of the NFT stuff, even though they kind of push it a bit in marketing because, you know, they want that richness. However, if you want to opt in on it, you can. So it's an interesting, like, crossroads between a traditional sort of PC and mobile game with the sort of blockchain world. And I honestly think that if there's a legitimate future in this, I think that's going to be the way to go. I think what it is, it's going to be kind of like a lot some games now where you like buy the base game and it's a AAA action shooter, action adventure, mythological game, and then there's like, oh, if you happen to have a PlayStation VR, here's the VR mode for it. And like that's how I think this stuff's probably going to normalize, is you're going to be seeing, instead of them just being all based on blockchain, which I'll get into why that's a problem in a moment, particularly the way it's being done now. I think what it's going to be is that this is going to be optional tech to invest in, similar to a VR mode or like a co-op multiplayer mode or something, where it's not the entire core game, but it's another aspect of the game that people can play in on and developers can profit on. Another one of these games, because another thing that's changed is Japan has really been getting into now making blockchain games. They sort of like exploded. So most of the early games was from smaller Western. They weren't even game studios. They were just tinkerers and coders. You know, it's not a bad thing. That's how all the good blockchain projects that are like legit always start off that way. But lately, Japan's been getting in on this. And probably the biggest one that's on the Polkadot network that's trying to get started up is this thing called Polka Fantasy, which sounds like a cool, like, Polish DDR game about polka songs, but it's not. The polka stands, unfortunately, for Polkadot, which is the type of blockchain we covered it many episodes ago. I'm wearing a Polkadot hat, which I got at the Polkadot Decoded, which it's funny I'm bringing up Polkadot because we'll be talking about that at the end of the episode, because that kind of segues into what we'll be streaming next. And from what I understand, this is going to be a traditional high-quality RPG. Think of, like, Final Fantasy VI, think of Final Fantasy IX, Dragon Quest. I think it's turn-based, so I don't think it's action-oriented, but like I'm just thinking of like the sort of like PlayStation 2 and older Japanese RPGs, like Tales of Symphonia, that sort of thing. But it uses NFT and Polkadot and the dot cryptocurrency in order to make their entire gameplay and economy work. And of course, like most of these, they have a roadmap. Here's all these lovely Japanese gentlemen. You note that there's not really any women on here. And that's sort of the big thing going on with Polkadot going on. And I'm actually gonna use this window to go to stuff. Another interesting group that has thrown their hat in is popular from Japan. Is the popular well, it started off as a text messaging service, but it's grown to a gigantic media empire in Japan, which is the Line Group. They make the famous Line app, which has its own game store, it has its own ecosystem and stuff like that. And for some reason this won't load, which I find hilarious. Maybe I have to disable the uBlock in order to make it work, because sometimes that works. Let's find out. For some reason it's down. But yeah, no, Line has made their own blockchain system, which I believe is called Oasis. That's why I'm trying to get to the actual website, but for some reason it's not loading now. I don't know why. They have the Explorer. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, ironically, I'm shocked Nintendo hasn't sued them. It's called Link. I don't know why none of this is loading. Watch. This is going to be funny if everything else on here, because it's been working, everything else on here is going to work, but loading this one website. That would be funny. Oh, I think I can at least load this PDF file. Nope. So apparently their whole thing is offline. I looked at it yesterday. It was there yesterday, and now it's not there. Did Line pull a pump and dump? What's going on? I need answers. Chat, does anyone have any answers why this is not loading? Please let me know. Is Line okay? Annie, are you okay, Annie? Are you okay, Annie? This is hilarious. Alright, this link is not from Line. So let's see if this works, so we can at least get some information, or I don't have to ramble off the top of my head. Yeah, it's called Link, and they're using a whole platform that's called Fincha, which kind of sounds like, shows my age, Harvey Birdman and that hippopotamus lawyer who's like, did they get that thing I sent you? It's like, I don't know, lame joke. But yeah, this is kind of like the outline of the kind of system that they're using, where you have users, you have the wallet, that's kind of the man in the middle, which makes me wonder about man in the middle of tax. You have different services, and then that's backbone to the actual Line communication system, which, you know, makes sense because you can totally see how communication systems will really want to like get into this type of stuff in the future, no matter how snake oily it is. I mean, if you look at things like how Keybase got out of control, who became kind of snake oily, it even makes more sense. So much thing has changed, and I will say right now that while platforms like Polygon and Polkadot have been definitely getting in on all this. Oh, we have a query string, an endpoint query string. That's kind of cool. We're not going to run into the Line blockchain stuff, but there's kind of like two major platforms getting involved here, and a big one is Engine. And these two have been around for a while, and Engine has an interesting background. We've done 3 episodes. They're all awesome, where you watch me code and suffer. But it's super cool. It's called Crypto Zombies, where you learn how to make smart contracts and other coding things in blockchain check by working on this fictional game that's called Crypto Zombies. Even though it's technically a game that you make, we've covered 3 episodes about it. That's why we're not covering it in this episode. We're going to probably revisit it for Halloween again at some point. But Engine is one of the companies, as well as Loom, that backs that whole project. So you're probably like more familiar with it if you watch this show without even realizing it. But they're a big background point, particularly when it comes to NFT integration with this sort of platform. And probably one of the weirdest, newest ones that took everyone by surprise of who uses Engine is Microsoft. And Microsoft is actually using it in kind of a really cool, creative way, which is, you know, when I actually, it's very few times where I actually get to say Microsoft and creative in the same sentence without holding a gun in my mouth. But this is legit one of those things. They made this weird game called, which we're not going to run, it's called Azure Heroes, which basically is a game that it uses blockchain to kind of track all the different nodes that you have, and you're moving like NFTs right now, so you're collecting badgers. They made like these cute badger things, proof of achievement, And as you play this game, kind of like Crypto Zombies, you get to learn how cloud computing works at code level, at server code level. And you get to essentially run a cloud node and everything that's all Azure by playing this whole game. It's kind of like a cross between Crypto Zombies and like the type of gamification coding learning that you see at Gitcoin. So it's a really interesting platform. It's something you would not expect Microsoft to use, especially blockchain. But to be honest, the blockchain implementation with this makes sense and it works. You're trying to keep track of multiple images as achievements. You use NFT blockchain system. Everything else is its own game, and you get to learn cool coding stuff. So one of the few Microsoft W's along with their accessibility projects. Good on you, Microsoft. Let's see how you do at your showcase, because, you know, for a while you were eating shit there with Redfall, and then Sony did their own, oops, we forgot to bring all the games at our game show. So maybe they'll spin it around on Sunday and then piss us off with a new new dumb policy thing. Who knows? But let's continue on with some more examples. So one that was featured at 3XP, and this has become also more popular, is called Lost Relic. A lot of crypto games, probably because it's just easier to program and to use, are top-down. And this is sort of like a weird sort of top-down adventure survivalist game. You'll notice that there's certain genres that you'll keep seeing crypto games being made out of. Popular first-person shooters have gotten a slight uptick, but they're still not as prevalent. You'll see a lot of top-down games. You'll particularly see a lot of survivor games, which makes sense in terms of, hey, we're NFTing our game. You collect the survivable loot. There you go. Looter shooters, hero shooters, a lot of very like both popular general gaming genres as well as stuff that, to be honest, even with its scumminess, actually makes sense in a scummy way to the type of stuff that they're kind of pushing and promoting. I also want to mention that the other popular blockchain game from Polygon, so we already covered the weird JRPG from Polkadot, so not to be outdone, Polygon has its own thing called Polygon Pets, which is, and I shit you not, it is literally, and I'm probably going to make everyone scream in chat, especially if you had good memories of this, because the website for this was so jank back in the day. That's how a lot of people learned how to code and to hack websites. It's literally Neopets, but it's entirely NFT-fied on the Polygon network. So that's literally what it is. Unfortunately, the website is not jank enough to do that. They're also kind of trying to make a 3D hub world for this. They have their own token called Pets Token. It's just really bizarre stuff. So, we saw something from from Polkadot. This is from Polygon, as well as Engine. These are the two that duke it out. And then, if I can find the page for it, no, it's not there. Hold on. One of you, it's here. Where'd you go? I thought I had you here. Well, I guess I didn't have you here. That's weird. But yeah, another, we do have the code up is, here we go. I'll have to type in separate. So, in the same way how Polkadot and Polygon are competitors in a lot of blockchain spaces, another competitor is, again, we mentioned Engine. And by the way, just for everyone to note in chat, we're probably going to stream for like 15, maybe 20 more minutes at max. I'm going to try to end this like at 8 at the latest. But we'll see how everything goes, because we're actually making really good progress here. I say that, and then I'm going to do the coding thing or try to load up one of the games, and then everything's going to go to complete shit. But, we'll see that. I'm also really impressed that despite the policy thing, we're still connected on Twitch. If you're on Twitch, please say hi in the chat to let us know that we're still on there and you can see us, because it seems everything's running. Because if you haven't heard, they once again, Twitch decided to hate everyone and redo all their bullshit with their policy pages. And one of their big things is that they're trying to oust multiple streams. So streaming on Twitch and YouTube and Newsmax and everything all at the same time. They're trying to kill that for every user, to the point where our main restream service, ironically called Restream.io, is confused by what the hell's going on. So this is actually kind of, in a hacker way, a really risky stream, because I'm waiting. In the same way how last time YouTube killed us because YouTube is the worst when it comes to DMCA, even somehow way worse than Twitch's. I'm waiting for Twitch to kill our stream or our channel, but that hasn't happened yet. So cross your fingers, it'll probably happen with the bad demo gods. But in this, the rival to Engine, which we talked about, is Wax, which we posted the code for, and they're the two. So you have like a 4-way competition, kinky, right? Where you have Polygon and Polkadot going head to head on one end, and then you have the old bees, Engine and Wax, going head to head. Particularly with I would say Polygon and Polkadot are probably way more focused on the blockchain side. Wax and Engine are really, even though they didn't start out this way, are way more focused on the NFT side. So that's kind of the look at it there. And there's just so many new games. One of them, which we might look briefly at the tournament scene right at the end, because unfortunately we missed that because I was late for everything as usual, is there is a game. So before the EVIO tournament that we saw, there was another game called Dead Drop. To give you a bit of background on it, there was a super popular Twitch streamer. Like when you think of like the idiots that are popular on Twitch, you think of like Ninja and what's her name, like Pokeanime and all those insufferable morons that are all going to be at TwitchCon this year. Thank you. One of them was Dr. Disrespect, who, interestingly enough, used to be a developer and community liaison at Activision for the Call of Duty games. So he already knew that audience, and so all he had to do was dress up as a stupid Dr. Disrespect character, which is a character on purpose, and stream his stuff, and he's swearing everywhere. It's super popular. We followed him for a while, and then due to a bunch of bullshit that's too long to get in here, he got banned. Some of it is his fault, some of it is Twitch's fault, and other of it was just pure stupid fuckery. But he got banned, and he went, I'm going to develop my own things with blackjack and hookers, and went to some gaming friends of him, because again, he has connections, used to work on the Call of Duty team, and they're making, and groan all you want, because this is an overused genre now, and it's going to be in crypto games even more than normal games. Extraction first-person looter shooter called Dead Drop, and what we're going to look at a piece of that before we get into the coding stuff is there is a really awesome YouTuber that everyone needs to check out. My original plan for this stream was I was actually going to invite him to do it on here, to talk with him on here about his work and about this topic, but unfortunately, you know, he's taking a break right now from doing videos. He's making other new content that he's focusing on. So, you know, awesome to you. But go check him out. His name's Jean, and he covers web gaming, and he exposes a lot of scams. He's a super smart cookie. And what I love about him is that he doesn't just shit on crypto games. What he does is he goes to a crypto game, and he's a super hardcore gamer. So instead of hyping the thing by, and this is, we're going to go at this at the end, a big problem with these games is they so focus on the crypto and blockchain side that they barely focus on the gaming side. So him as a gamer, he reviews these games as a gamer, like what's the gameplay, are the controls good, do the graphics suck, all of that, and gives you an honest opinion from a gamer's perspective of these games. And he did 2 videos, you should see all of them because they're excellent, but he covered Dead Drop twice, and the second time he actually got to play it. So we're going to take a minute or two to look at that video. I'm going to add it in here right now because I forgot to add it beforehand. And, you know, again, shout out. Go check out his channel. I just posted the link in chat. He does absolutely phenomenal work. Let me find it here. Should be... There we go. So this should work. And I'm gonna skip to certain parts of the video for a minute. We're gonna watch his coverage on this so you get an idea of like what his videos are like, and kind of leading to our next topic, which is why most of these crypto games, despite their growth, despite their success, despite having a major expo that seems to be doing really honest God well, fail and also have a stigma attached to them. But let's see what John has to say.
Dr. Disrespect's highly anticipated NFT game has finally entered open access, which means that it's time for me to get to work. Time for me to put my money where my mouth is and see if I really am as big of an idiot as the docs community thinks I am. Well, by open access, I mean you'll need to open your wallet to get access. A ticket to become one of the game's prestigious unpaid alpha testers is going to run you about $25. Whatever, it's a business expense. Something that I found really strange about the website for this game while I was purchasing the access key is that there isn't any username or password system. To log in, you just enter your email address and then they email you a link and then you click that link and you're logged in. I don't think I've ever seen any other website handle logins this way, and it seems like it could be a pretty serious security flaw, but hey, what do I know? After purchasing the $25 strictly non-refundable game key, it's time to download the 3.8 gigabyte zip file that contains the game. Now, the doc is doing something completely unheard of with this game. They're releasing what they call snapshots that allow you to play the game as early as day 0. So we're not even paying $25 to test the beta. The game is more in like a pre-alpha state. This is pretty much unheard of, as typically when games are this early on in development, they're tested solely by the internal teams, who are usually paid employees of the studio. But hey, it's 2023, so why would we ever bother with maintaining a salaried QA team when you instead have people willing to pay you for the honor of testing your game? Sounds like a win-win to me. A certain amount of time has passed, an extraction event will occur, and a location will be marked on the map. Heading to this location will allow you to extract from the match, escaping the arena with all of the items you have in your inventory. However, you can also win by killing every other player. Winning in this manner will grant you a bonus item as a prize. Each match can have somewhere between 10 or 24 players, but more often than not, the matches had the lower end of that range. Since the current map is small, this number of players is perfect. I felt like more than 20 players at once was just too much, especially with how cluttered the game's audio gets, but I'll talk more about that later. Let's talk about the gameplay feel. Well, the movement feels terrible. I'm not exaggerating when I say that this feels like an unmodified reskin of the Unreal Engine first-person shooter example game. There's no cooldown between jumps, so you can just bunny hop like an absolute madman. You can also climb on certain objects and use zip lines. When you press the spacebar while looking at a climbable object, your player just snaps to that object and begins to climb it, even if you're 6 feet away from it. Climbing ladders feels equally terrible, as it's tremendously slow and you're a sitting duck while you're climbing. And you'll most likely be required to climb a ladder, as they're everywhere, so be prepared. You can also slide, but that move actually didn't feel that bad. The gunplay is unsurprisingly highly unfinished. Hit registration is god-awful, and most of the guns have next to no recoil. Time to kill is super low, so the winner of a gunfight is usually whoever has the high ground or shoots first. Or even more likely, whoever has the better internet connection. There are a few different types of guns that you can find around the map, as well as attachments. Shotguns, snipers, submachine guns, the usual lot. But the attachments that you can add to your guns don't really feel like they make any sort of measurable difference, but it's kind of hard to tell when the gunfights only last 3 seconds. Also, when you equip an attachment to your gun, you can't unequip that attachment. You also can't tell which attachments your gun has. You can only see how many attachments it has. When you log into Dead Drop the very first time, you'll have a few weapons in your inventory that have a different color than the normal versions of those weapons that you'll find around the map. I assume that these are supposed to represent the NFT items, which are cosmetically enhanced versions of the normal weapons. However, when you use these items in-game, you'll still lose them forever if you fail to extract with them. This was one of the main problems that I mentioned in my other video, and this is what the doc was referring to in his now infamous tweet. These are the items that are supposedly worth $100,000. If these items were worth that much, then there's literally no reason to ever take them into a real match, especially since they're just cosmetic. You would just be putting a target on your head for no benefit besides minor internet clout. Plus, how much on the map, there's pretty much no reason to ever bring anything into the match with you. Since the map isn't that big and the advantage that the attachments give you is unnoticeable, it's totally viable to just play like an absolute rat. Spawn in with no items at risk and run around and loot as fast as possible. Then, you're free to play like an aggressive idiot and hunt down the people who did bring the rare items. If you screw up, well, who cares? Just respawn and then run immediately back to where you were and throw yourself at the guy with the valuable item until you kill him using your pistol. Or you could play like this guy who was just hiding on top of a stack of crates. Obviously, stream sniping is super easy as well. Players who were unfortunate enough to have purchased the NFT for this game drop some sort of trading card when you kill them, so people are always watching their stream and trying to get into their game and hunt them down. This game's gonna be impossible to play live without at least a 2-minute stream delay. The whole concept of vertical extraction is poorly executed, and that's partly because computer screens are wider than they are tall. Because of the extreme verticality of the arena, you will often get killed by someone who you could not see at all since they were above you and off screen. This means that you need to constantly be not only looking left and right, but also looking straight up. In fact, it's actually probably best for you to just avoid going outside at all. If someone makes it to the top of the map with a sniper rifle, then it's game over. they'll be able to overlook the entire map and take out anyone who tries to extract, since they have an unobstructed line of sight. There's a reset on the Unreal Asset Store. They just changed the color and added it difficult to see. The game consists of some of the finest artwork you've ever seen, hand purchased with the doc's very own credit card. Actually, the extraction helicopter is a modified free asset on the Unreal Asset Store. They just changed the color and added this giant gun to the front. Peeking through the game files, I found a few other references to the Unreal Engine first-person shooter tutorial template, as well as some other asset store purchases. Interesting, especially since the game's website goes into such great detail, bragging about the multiple decades of experience that the team has. I would think that experienced developers wouldn't start with the tutorial project, and they just start the project from scratch. But I'm no professional, so maybe this is actually very common. Let me know if I'm wrong. But hey, the asset store is there for a reason, so I guess they're allowed to use it if they want. Next to you, gun audio has the same issues, but somehow even worse. Loud and can be heard from what feels like halfway across the map. But good luck trying to use them to help you navigate. Someone who's 4 floors below you, crouch walking, will sound like they're sprinting right next to you. Gun audio has the same issues, but somehow even worse. When you're in a close range gunfight, the sound of both players' guns overlaps so severely that it starts clipping and distorting, completely overpowering every other sound in the game. The game features a proximity voice chat feature as well. However, everyone is forced to use open mic. There's no push to talk. This results in some rather comedic moments.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we're doing a review of Dead Drop, the new Topic Disrespect NFT game. I apologize in advance for the issues with the microphone. I have to use my webcam mic because the game interferes with my normal audio driver, but hopefully we're able to clean it up in post, so you shouldn't even notice a difference.
Don't shoot me. I like to make myself believe that planet Earth.
Oh, come on! Bro, you gotta be kidding me. How did you kill me?
You just blue screened to death right there, audio-wise.
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
I hope that they keep this feature all the way up to launch. There's absolutely no way that this could ever.
But again, if you want to check it out, like go check out Jean's channel. It is absolutely fantastic, and I just wanted to highlight that one video because it's a very recent game of one of these, but he covers so many of them, and again, he's covering all the stuff that's been going on for since we tried this last year, so you can see so much of this has changed that there's entirely new games, which is why we're not going to cover every single game. We will, however, I'm going to lead off with, before we get to the code part and then wrap up the stream, of the core problem that I feel is with these Web3 play-to-earn NFT games. And even though this does contribute to it, no, it's not because all cryptocurrency and blockchain stuff is a scam. Most of it is, not all of it is. That is a factor, that there's so much snake oil out there, but that's not even the core reason. It impacts it. That's not the exact reason. It's not because these are younger, newer developers trying to code. It's not because the field is completely new. It's not because, that we don't have full-on blockchain scalability for stuff with this. It's not any of that. The odd thing about what I, especially someone who games, considers a problem here with Web3 and blockchain games, I'm not going to go into face mode just to talk about this, and then we'll go to the code stuff, because I'm expecting this to either succeed instantly or fail instantly, because I already have all the code for it. But it's the same problem, ironically enough, that virtual reality gaming, and also the same problem that, and hear me out, that Christian-made and Christian-based video games have. And I know that sounds like a weird mix. Like, what the hell do Web3 blockchain crypto board ape motherfuckers, Jesus Bible thumpers, and Mark Zuckerberg's creepy eye face from Apple has to do with any of these? But ironically, they have the same core problem, okay? And I'll explain it with the terms for Web3, but this also applies to VR and Christian games. And you'll notice this pattern as you look through Sean's videos, if you do your own research. They are so focused on the blockchain and crypto aspects, they completely neglect the game aspects. That's what it is. In VR, they're so focused on that it's 3D and first person that they're not being creative with games. You'll notice that a lot of these VR games are floating hands and their guns and their swords and their quick arcade type games. There's no real creativity despite all the possibilities with a virtual headset and being able to track your hands and what they do in three-dimensional, your body in three-dimensional space. That's why VR chat is the only decent thing out of this. In Christian games, they're not designed to be fun games. Similar to VR games, they're designed to preach Jesus. And so that's their real focus, and they're so focused on that's why we have an entire category of Christian games that people like the Angry Video Game Nerd and stuff rightfully shit on all the time, because they don't think about if the game is fun. To them, they don't care it's fun. They think just by a game existing, that means it's good and it's fun. And so their focus is on the gospel stuff, not on making a fun game that then you osmosis through the game itself learn things about Christian stuff. And that's the exact same problem, ironically enough, that most crypto games have, and almost all crypto games have pretty much. If you go to their website pages, they'll maybe have a paragraph or two, definitely screenshots and pre-rendered video or whatever, of like cool gameplay with giant dubstep and hardcore rap music, and they'll talk about this is an action adventure game, this is a shooter, an MMO, but 2/3 of the website is the GameFi, which is a dumb term because it comes from DeFi, digital finance, and they called it GameFi, which is weird because wouldn't that mean the entire video game industry is DeFi because GameFi because it's gaming finance? That's GameStop, that's Nintendo, that's Sony, that's the Steam store, so whatever. Dumb term, like a lot of crypto terms. But back to the point, they're so focused on the GameFi. They spend most of the website talking about the new tokens they're introducing, the NFTs, how to get the NFTs, their roadmap for all the crypto stuff. You notice that they always have a roadmap for the crypto stuff, and while they mention when they're going to go to alpha or go to beta, they don't talk about, oh, here's where we do playtesting to refine controls. Here's where we do playtesting to balance the different AI mechanics symptoms so that it goes. This is where we're going to start introducing difficulty scale. This is when we're going to do open beta. This is how our servers are going to work to provide the online. There's none of the actual game stuff that even the most casual Peggle player would care about for any of these. So, in my opinion, while it's great that 3XP exists and they're doing honest-to-God awesome work, they, along with their entire field, are never going to get properly off the ground if they are actually serious about this until they actually focus on these games and focus on making them fun. Again, they don't have to be the next Call of Duty. They don't have to be the next Grand Theft Auto. They don't have to be the next Mario. But they do have to be good, fun, engaging games as games by themselves. And then the token and blockchain stuff can back that up. That's why it's honestly probably a good idea, like what Nino Kuni is doing, to have this as an optional thing first. Same thing with Microsoft with its cloud gaming. You notice how cloud is optional with xCloud. Google tried to make everything cloud, and besides them also just being Google, completely failed on its ass. It needs to have baby steps. It needs to be progress, and it needs to focus on how does this tech improve the game? How is it fun? Is it fun on its own? What makes it fun? Then talking about fucking tokenomics and stuff, and that is kind of why I'm going to end cap the whole wraparound with this. So before we go, as we said, Crypto Barons, it's a hacker show. We're going to attempt to do coding. Keyword is attempt. Ironically, when we do meetings, the few times I do code for Master of Unlocking, which has been like 3 times max, everything goes well. But for some reason, when we do code here, it is truly a hacker's struggle. Part of it is because I'm a bad coder and I'm really dumb. Part of it is just because the system's really crappy, or we find a new bug that doesn't exist. You can check past episodes about this, but let's do some coding stuff. Let's follow along with GitHub. We're going to attempt to code, and I'm not going to even hide the tutorial this time because we are going to be following a tutorial. We're going to attempt to code a blockchain game. It's going to be a simple quiz game. and let's see if this all works. So first thing that we need to do is, so we're going to need some testnet ETH. Thankfully, I already have the faucet here. So accept that. We're going to do MetaMask because I already have this up and running. Now, unfortunately, because we're doing it, I think, from desktop mode, you won't be able to see. Oh, I forgot to change back to desktop. Yay. So yeah, this is the desktop, and there's a new window open. So unfortunately, you won't be able to see the MetaMask part, but I'll be able to see it on my end. So the MetaMask is over here where this cursor is. It's loading now. I don't know why it's taking so long. Wouldn't it be great if we found a new bug in MetaMask? That's happened before on our stream. We got to submit the report on that. That's always fun. One of these days, I'm probably going to give up and also get Wallet Connect, because it seems like even though MetaMask, people think MetaMask is everywhere, but dead serious, I just always see Wallet Connect everywhere I go. So I'm probably going to break down and finally cry and get Wallet Connect. Maybe we'll do an entire episode about it where we can do it, and either I'll learn to love it or I'll bitch about it or whatever. It's not that MetaMask is better. It's just something I'm used to. So we're going to connect our MetaMask to the testnet faucet. Let's see, this network. Your wallets connect on unsupported network. To request a network, please. Oh, really? Wait, why is it not? Hang on. I mean, we're still going to run the code without it, but this is kind of funny. Why is the network not supported? I want to know now, because we have Avalanche running on here. We have all the Ethereum testnets. I don't know why it's not running. Joy. See, we haven't even gotten to the code yet, and things are failing. Alright, so for whatever reason not working, we're still going to do the code. So the first thing we're going to do, because I already actually have, well, I'm going to Git pull it live, but I already have all the codes set up. We also have it on our GitHub, which I will, again, type our GitHub in the chat. But if you're on Twitch, if you scroll down, we have a little widget for it. And give the heads up also, again, before we get into the code and I start screaming for the next 5 minutes, if you like the stuff that you've seen and you also are curious about the other show, Master of Unlocking, which should happen again next week on the 15th, so cross your fingers for that, because the first time live stream didn't work out. It was mostly my fault. Like, there was no one to blame. It was literally just bad situation, and it was my fault. We're going to correct that next time. But if you're into Master of Unlocking, we're also going to live stream our meetups. They're going to be hybrid, so it's going to be in-person and live stream. Not all of it's going to be live stream. Parts of it are for the foreseeable future. And we're also going to still continue on our specials. And in fact, right now, for the past 3 days during the smog storm, I've been negotiating a really fun 4th of July stream that I'm really excited to do. Like, I'm legit excited. I think everyone's going to die laughing when we announce it. But if you want to follow along with that, the best way to do so, besides following our social media that we post in our link tree, is to simply like, share, and subscribe to us for free on Twitch, DLive, Odyssey, and PeerTube. I will note about YouTube, because it is a piece of crap, that make sure you hit that notification bell and turn on all notifications, because again, YouTube is a piece of crap and doesn't do that by default for some reason, because that would be the smart thing to do, but it's also run by Google. So you'll get, by the way, the reason for that is, besides getting a little alerts during a live stream that we cheer you on for following us, you'll also get active alerts for when we live stream. So literally say when we go on air, I'll have our schedule on there, are automatically loaded. So it'll be pretty cool. Even if I'm late, it'll let you know if I'm late, things like that. So the first thing which I've turned on is the terminal. There we go. So we're now in Linux, and let me just expand this window a little bit. Expand dong here. So let me see if I can change this vertically transform. Let's do edit transform. Here we go. Alright, now it's full screen. Cool. Okay. So, the first thing we're going to do, and you can follow along with GitHub here, and this is probably where I'm going to start screaming, is we're going to have to run Foundry. So this whole thing will not work, which is me already tempting the demo gods without Foundry. a little bit more. So I'm just making some new minor adjustments while I wait for the Foundry page to load. Where did I put this? Here it is. Hi. Let me know in chat, by the way, or in the comments section if you're watching this after we recorded, if you are attending HushCon, so that way, you know, if you see me there, wave to me. If not, I'll see you and wave to you. It'll be fun. It'll be cute. So let's see. So Foundry is a blazing fast, portable, and modular tool for Ethereum application development written in Rust, my favorite language. See, one of the things that drives me crazy about doing this show is that I get to routinely butt heads with languages that I either don't care about, rarely use, or drive me crazy. So I'm constantly using Rust. I'm occasionally using Go. I'm dealing with Solidity, which I actually partially like, but it's still annoying. IPFS, C+ coding, which I haven't done since video games, all that crap. So this is where you can forge cast. Basically allows you to like do that glue between the Ethereum testnet and your application. So that's what we're going to have to install here. So this should be really fun. So we're opening it. Let's see what they have to say. Hopefully we have some fun Linux commands, because I'm going to assume it's going to be the Linux. So we have two things. We can either use Foundry toolchain installer, or we can build from source. If we build from source, we're going to have to use Rust and Cargo, which I have, but I don't know how updated they are. So let's see here. Client GitHub action. I mean, we could do that. That would be cute, but I'm actually going to look into Foundry up and see about all of that. So it seems simple enough. Okay, so we're going to install that. We're going to do this install message first. So it's going to be curl. Let's spell that correctly. We're going to -lit. We're going to go to this URL. Then we're going to bar it and then bash this. So let me just double check the spelling, because you know in the past we've done like beautiful written programs that then died because I am terrible at spelling. All right, here we go. Hold on to your butts. We're installing preferred shell. Okay, so now we just type the name and it should finish the install. What? Hang on. Oh, maybe I have to do the / because I'm in Linux and I'm a dumbass. Honestly, dead serious, doesn't Foundry Up sound like a furry name at DC Furs? It just does. What? Hang on. So it says temperature shell. Oh, okay. Oh, I see what we have to do. We have to do this source crap. Okay. Watch, I'm probably going to break this entire SOC just by running the stupid bash source. Okay, so here's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to do this. I have to close the... I have to do the old... Have you turned it on and off again? From that show with... That's from Turf Island with unfunny jokes done by the king of the turfs, who now nobody likes. Alright, so you should see Ubuntu again. And now that we're in a new session, I should just be able to type this and it should work. There we go. Alright, this is going to finish the install now. Basically, we had to do a refresh. I thought I could do a refresh without typing reload in the terminal, but it didn't work, so I just manually closed it and opened it again. So now it is download. Actually, it's good. It's updating all the stuff that I would normally have a pain in the ass to update. So it's updating Forge, Cast, Anvil, and Chisel. And you know, previously in the past, we've used Forge and Anvil on here, so that's going good. And because we're not on a suck-ass internet connection, thankfully provided at this lovely space at Hack Manhattan, which you can find at hackmanhattan.com, everything is actually progressing smoothly. So if anything dies, it's because I shit at coding and this machine sucks. So it's not the internet this time. Because in the past, we've had testnets crash and stuff because our internet was complete goddamn garbage. So that's not going to happen. So, okay, so we have the prerequisite for the prerequisite, because welcome to goddamn Linux. And now we're going to install the rest. So to finish Foundry, all right. So we did all that. Okay, so we got all the, oh, I'm dumb. All right. So print file binaries. All right. Let me just double check. Okay. So we already got that done. So now we actually can jump to the actual code. So we're actually at the end here finally. This is the part that makes me nervous. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull all the code right now. Because I'll tell you this right now. If you've seen past episodes, you are very much well aware that every time I think something's going to be insanely complex, let's clear this. Every time I think something's going to be insanely complex, it's the easy part of our stream, and then when I do something simple as my brain just died. When I do something as simple as a frickin' git clone, that's when everything goes to hell. So cross your fingers on this. It should be at worst 3 commands. So I'm going to do that and that URL, copy pasta. So we're going to clone into it from direct directory. Okay, so we should be able to CD into it now with too many dashes in it. Okay, let's list them all. All right, let's fight through menus here. So should be able to CD and quiz game. Okay, so we have everything in there now. So let's. I'm actually going to go to desktop mode real quick, and we're going to just look at the source real quick, and then we're going to look at the source code for it, and then we're going to run it and see if it runs. And if it runs, great. If not, not. And then we're going to wrap up the episode. Yay. See, once I actually got here, everything went really smooth. Partly because of luck, partly because we're at Hack Manhattan and like not at a shitty space that I'm usually at. And we've been in a couple of shitty spaces all month, so. Alright, so let's see here. Single directory. Okay, so that was that. So let's look at this. So first thing we're gonna have to do is initialize the project. So let's turn back terminal. Oh, wait a minute. I think I already did these steps. Okay, I already did these steps. Okay, so actually what I can do is in here, I should be able to, actually I should be able to CT into Foundry. In here should be the okay, so there's the source. Yep, and in here should be one of the contract. What's in test? I'm gonna go to test just to save my ass. So let's look at Nano. I don't know which one to look into. Hang on. Contract Soul. Okay, let's look at quiz game real quick. So we're gonna nano this. So yeah, this is the code. You can see here it's a Solidity contract-based Pragma latest version. This is the test example. We have a DST test face here. Very simple, concise stuff. Now let's look at also pretty concise. This is all the test sections and everything, which feeds back into the other .sol. So let's CD back into everything again. I think we're going to go on. Here we go. Yeah, I think 5 more minutes should do it. And then we'll be finally over with, because I'm getting hungry. Nothing makes you more hungry than shitty code. So let's see. So we're going to CD into Foundry again. Yep. And we have our deploy SH and everything. So as we got to see here, in there, we have the base skeleton. We looked at the 2 base skeletons. Let's see if we could, do a test. Alright, I'm going to attempt to do a test here. Cross your fingers. I'm probably typing the commands in wrong. RC. I'm just going to copy pasta just to make sure I'm not going super crazy. Okay, let's see, we have some RUD. DS thistle not found, file not found. I think we may have to actually CD into the source itself. Let's do that again. Don't know why that's not working. So let's see here. So I'm just double checking everything here, everybody. This is the very boring part about coding and hacking, by the way. So let's see, Foundry. Let's double check. So we have that in there. Try to figure this out. Trying to figure out what they mean here by this command. I'm gonna look at my reference here for commands. Another funny thing about this show is I always have to like cover all the details about everything first. So by the time I get to this point, I'm both tired and hungry. So yeah. that also detriments my ability to do any form of coding, no matter how shit simple basic it is. But we're gonna get through this. I'm gonna give it about like 3 more minute shot on here before I give up. Let's see. All right. Let's see here. I wonder why it's not properly running. All right, I'm gonna jump ahead a bit and see what else we need to do. Let's try deploying it. Let's get even more risky. See what happens. Okay. Deploying. What? Really? Oh, do I have to do the dot dash thing because I'm dumb? Yep, I am. So you can see we haven't done one of these live streams in a while. Okay, so it is running. So let's see here. Enter your RPC URL. Read the contract, man. So what it's doing is it's doing all the code, and it says it's deploying my contract to Gorelli. After doing this, it's going to read all the variables without displaying what we're typing on the command line. So that way, when it like generates private keys and stuff, it's not it doesn't show like where it is and stuff like that. So let me go attempt to get mines from MetaMask, even though it said it wasn't compatible with it. So hopefully there's not a timeout on this. I love it that everything else is running fine and buttery smooth except for MetaMask, because MetaMask is like an overly bloated piece of crap. Now MetaMask is arguing with me. That's what you're not seeing here. Does not want to show itself for some reason. Come on, show yourself. Otherwise, I'll just use the test one in the example. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Where are you? Alright, let me look up something. Let's do a quick minute section of what is Sidepocket doing completely wrong, completely embarrassing himself at Hack Manhattan. Let's see what's going on here. Also, if anyone has any ideas in chat, let me know, because I think we're all pretty stumped right now. Because I might just be lazy and use the test one on here, but I'd like to use my own just because it'd be more of a solid example. So the good thing is there's no timeout, so that's good. And this MetaMask is taking forever. I could probably do it through, I have the MetaMask also on mobile app, and that would be faster, but then I have to be like looking, typing, and all that bullshit. If this doesn't load in like the next minute, I'm gonna skip all this. Okay, blah, 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 blah. I get it. 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 I get it, MetaMask. Yes, I get that. On. On. All on. Good. Good. Come on, MetaMask. Let's get out of here. Come on. Alright, so networks. Okay, so we're going to try to get the Gorelli test network here. So what you're not seeing here, I can actually briefly show it up now, is that MetaMask has decided to go so crazy tits up that it has actually opened a separate browser window in order to process my bullshit. So I'm going to give it a couple of seconds for that to load. Okay, but that's the mainnet. I don't want the mainnet. I want the testnet. Why can't I select that? Oh, this is so annoying. Hang on. Sorry, right now, MetaMask is having an argument with me. Yeah, I'm actually going to type it out in separate plain text because it's a pretty short URL, and we're going to try this one and see if it works. God, this reminds me again of why in the early days we used to spend so little time on crypto concepts until they got like way too complex recently, and we would like most of the episode would just be me coding because of like crap like this. And I wouldn't even call this coding. This is really me like just beating my head against the wall until hopefully something happens. Okay, why isn't this copy pasting? Copy. Oh, do I have to? Oh my God, really? Oh boy, alright. Here we go. I have typed this out manually in the terminal, don't I? Which contract? Okay, so we got that part. So now it's which contract do I want to deploy? We'll go with greeter. See what pops up here, and then I think we're done. Okay, so the good thing is that the code actually runs. The dumb bad news is that we have a giant error. So I'm going to take this as this is as far as we're going to go with this. So at least we know the code works. It's just me trying to do the whole test soul juggling thing around is not going to happen with this time with how hungry I am. So unlike most Crypto Barons episodes, I'm going to actually classify this as B for effort, which sucks because the 2 episodes ago we got everything working properly. So that was one of the few A for effort ones. I think we've had 3 streams where everything worked flawlessly, even despite hiccups here and there, like very minor ones, creative ones I might add. So this one, we got as far as we could go. We actually got farther than I did, so I'm pretty happy with that. So I just want to check out one last quick thing, and then we're going to wrap up the stream. I'm going to see if I actually have time to do this. So let's look in here. So I have 2 things load up. Now, if I want to be super crazy, and let's get rid of the terminal. I don't think I have enough energy in me to attempt to do. I just thought we'd at least look at these. I might do these as a future episode instead. Maybe we'll do a bit of it for the next episode later on this month. That would be fun. But 2 of the newer crypto games that weren't at the 3XP episode that I got to that I've kind of noticed. One, which is really kind of weird, was called Illuvium, which sounds like a really wicked strain of cannabis, I might add. And I already see the warning signs because they're directly partnered with GameStop. That's always a fun thing. And it's like, there is a game to it, but it's also more of like an ecosystem for like NFTs for GameStop. It's really weird. It is really weird. I don't think we're going to run this, but this is like one of the examples. But another very interesting one, if I can find it here. Here we go. It's Planet Mojo, which it's funny because these actually kind of went semi-extinct recently on PC. But there's a genre of over-the-head strategy game. So here's a weird thing. So you have turn-based strategy games, right? You know, your RTSs. And then spun out of that were MOBAs with Dota 2 with stuff. But then spun out of those, like League of Legends and MOBAs, came the auto chess or the auto chess battler or just the auto battler. So yeah, this genre is a spin-off of a spin-off. Getting very specific here, where it's a chess-like grid, and basically most of the gameplay is you prepping your team, and then when the gameplay happens, you're not in direct control of the gameplay. Everything happens with the AI exactly how you prepped and controlled your team, what items you gave them, what weapons, their stats and stuff, and then everything just plays out. So you do a ton of setup, and then you watch the payoff or the total ponage happens. And Planet Mojo is one of those games, and never had tried an auto battler. It is pretty interesting, pretty snazzy. I'm just gonna click on this and see what it does, and then we're gonna wrap up this stream. I just want to see what happens. I want to see if it can even connect to my MetaMask or whatever, because I'm really hungry and I have a lot to do tomorrow in addition to swiping around HushCon. Now I will say this, I'll try to swap by HushCon in the middle of the day. If you don't see me in the middle of the day at HushCon, I'm probably going to be farting around. They have like an after thing that I'm not allowed to say where or what it is, but they are having an after thing, so I might poke my head into that. So if I'll either be during the break lunch intermission outside hanging out with everyone who's smoking outside, or you'll see me at that thing very briefly, because besides that I literally have 4 places to go. 1 in New Jersey, 3 in New York, actually sorry, it's 5 places. I'm going to 1 place in New Jersey, 2 or 3 places in Manhattan, depending if I skip one, and that would probably be the HushCon thing, unfortunately. And then I'm going to, in between that, I'm going to a thing in Brooklyn. So I'm going to be all over the place. I should turn on all my geocaching stuff and see what comes up. So as I'm waiting for the end of this load, I want to last remind again, because we are going to wrap up the stream literally in a minute, that if you do like the content that you have seen, if you want to catch more Crypto Barons, you want to see hopefully next week Master of Unlocking, our future hybrid meetups if you can't attend in person, other special live streams, one which we're going to be announcing for 4th of July later on this month. I'm like, this is probably the most excited I've been for 4th of July since like my family gatherings when I was 18 and younger. I'm legit that excited for this. That's not a hype thing. When you see this and when everyone out there sees this announced, I think you'll love it too, and you're also going to be like, that's totally DCG 201. That's totally what they would do for 4th of July. Like, this is totally them, like unabashedly them. Like, we're both ashamed and impressive New Jersey. I love it. But if you are interested in that, you can follow us for free on Twitch DLive. So I keep saying DLive even though we've deactivated that. I've been doing it for like 2 years saying that. Twitch, YouTube, Odyssey, and PeerTube. In fact, I would love for more subscription on PeerTube. In fact, where we are on PeerTube on Dio.zone, which is just amazing. It's literally a PeerTube instance, a peer-to-peer YouTube-like video instance. It's not blockchain. It's all decentralized, open source completely, but it's literally just for tech stuff. And they also have unlimited bandwidth and unlimited storage. And I probably have like the most amount of videos stored on there, and we also are one of the highest viewed channels. But it's always great if you have more views, because it's like, you know, everyone knows what YouTube is, everyone knows what unfortunately Twitch is, and you know, Odyssey, despite some of its beginnings, has a lot of legit people on there now. But like, no, for real. It does. That's actually like for a while we were like, should we actually join this? Should we? And like enough like normal ass people doing like art shows and privacy stuff that weren't like secret Nazis was like, all right, fine, you'll win most of it's like Mines. It's like most of this is normal content now. We'll join. We'll bite the bullet. No, I'm good. Thank you. So even though it finally loaded after 8 million years because this computer is shit, I'm going to close the tab first of all, and we're going to wrap up the stream. So I'm going to go to face mode now. So yeah, despite being majorly late, I'm really happy about this stream. I'm especially happy with this place in the Wi-Fi signal. I don't know if I'll be streaming here often, but it'd be nice. We'll work out probably details about that in the future if they happen. I would like to once again, and I'll type in their website, thank Hack Manhattan for allowing me to scrupulously use their space for tonight in order to stream this episode. And thanks for everyone for watching here. So you can check them out at hackmanhattan.com. So that's them. Definitely check them out. And like I said earlier, definitely check out John's YouTube channel that I already have in chat. If you want to follow us more, you can check out. We're still getting our website going. The website's been a big pain in the butt, but we're making progress. So hold on to your butts. Hopefully, sometime between when we announce the next meeting and when the next meeting happens, it'll be up. In the meantime, you can check out our Medium blog if you want to check us out on the socials, such as the terrible Elon Muskrat Deadbird site our Twitter is defcon201.nj or defcon201 on Instagram or on GitHub or on minds.com or on Instagram. We even have a Facebook for all the terrible boomers out there, unfortunately. But you can find that at our link tree, which is at linktr.ee/defcon201. And we're starting to get more active on there. In fact, I'm hoping that next month we're going to start going back to what we usually use our Discord for, which is doing online CTFs. I love doing online CTFs, especially when I get to live stream it with you all. But if you want to chat with us or reach out to hi for some of our members, including ourselves, when I occasionally check it, here's our Discord invite link in the chat. So thanks for everyone for watching. If you're on YouTube, it's going to automatically forward to our next thing, which is I should be here teaching lockpicking next week on the 15th. I finally figured out how I can live stream that when the path train does not totally commit Sudoku. So I hope to see you all during that. That's when chat's probably going to get super active as opposed to tonight, because I'm pretty sure everyone's distracted right now at HushCon. We had a good amount of people, so thank you for all in chat watching and lurking out there and learning. So stay tuned for that. What was I getting to? So if you're on YouTube, it's going to automatically forward to that preview video, so you can get the little notification, follow us on there, and it will let you know when that live stream. So if you don't remember the 15th, you'll get the notification for that. If you're on Twitch, as we exit this stream, it's going to raid another channel. We don't know what the channel is going to be. It's probably going to be a coding thing, a cool maker thing, maybe another cool crypto thing or web thing going on. It might be some just random complete ass bullshit. It might be a chat GTP annoyance. It might be a meme. We don't know. You're going to find out, but make sure to say hi to them. Again, thank you for watching the stream. Please follow us on Twitch, YouTube, Odyssey, and PeerTube. If you watched on Torvite and Vidius, you are more elite, and we're not going to challenge you. Check out all of our social stuff. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you soon. Hack the planet. Dirty Jersey represent. And remember that we haven't done this stream in so long that the demo gods still hate us. I am probably going to once again get super OCD and work on whatever the hell thing failed, and then next episode I'll be able to explain it. In fact, speaking of the one, and remember, if you are interested in Crypto Barons, our next episode, if everything should go right, will be on June 29th. And ironically enough, another big conference, that's going to be the Polkadot Decoded. They decided not to do one locally in New York this year. It's going to be held in person in Copenhagen. Shockingly affordable, but I can't fly to Copenhagen, even though I've heard cool things about them, including all the human rights abuses. But because we can't make it there, most of it's going to be live streamed. So we're going to watch the live stream of that. We're going to react. I'm going to re-go over Polkadot and go over what's been improved. We're going to try testnet things, some cool coding things that will be fun. So if you're interested in Crypto Barons, I will hopefully see you on the 29th. Let's double check. Yeah, on the 29th. And if you're interested in other stuff, I will hopefully see you on the 15th. Teach you lockpicking. Peace, everyone. Enjoy the music. And remember, if you're on Twitch, say hi to the person we raid. Bye-bye. Sorry about earlier. Here comes the music. We'll be rating in like 30 seconds.